Afternoon, everyone. Firstly, I think you should all give yourself a round of applause for still being here after 2 days. You will all be receiving a free AirAsia ticket. I'm not sure to where. Anyway, I suppose I'd just wrap up, really summarize a little bit of what we said. We're also ahead of time, which is great. In true AirAsia spirit, we're always on time. Actually, not quite true. But anyway, I'll take that for now. Firstly, I think this has been our best and most well-attended ABC forum. I think the quality of people, the quality of interaction, the quality of discussion, and the quality of the findings has been top class. And I think so everyone should be congratulated for that. I think we're well on our way to making this forum the ASEAN Davos, where I think a lot of idea exchange and networking, which I think is critical, bringing people together, exchanging ideas, and actually making people feel confident, I think is a huge step in creating this community. I mean, though I joked on the side, the fact that 3 banks were in close proximity to each other, I think will play a part, because I think industry themselves can solve a lot of the issues through dialogue rather than just waiting for regulators and governments to solve it. So I think we must pursue this, Tan Sri Munir and all of the board, to carry this on and really make this annual event in bringing everyone together. Because I think there are 2 ways. There is obviously interacting with the governments to push our ideas through, but I think if we interact with ourselves more and agree more amongst ourselves, that itself will accelerate this community. I think we had 50 high-quality speakers, 300 of you turned up, which is great. I think it's important that we had a strong media partner in Bloomberg, which I think gives us the coverage and gives some of our ideas put across to a wider audience, which I think is great. Since we've started this forum, we've done legal and tax, which looked very bleak from Hanim's perspective, but it always is bleak, legal and tax. When is there ever a happy lawyer? Except when he gets his fees. I am going to be serious for the rest of this. Automotive and manufacturing, financial service and capital market, mineral, oil and gas, which seem the most optimistic going forward. Food and beverage, which I think is a very important industry for ASEAN. Retail, aviation, healthcare, and infrastructure. So I think in these 2 conferences, we've covered really the essence of what ASEAN is about. So it gives us a framework to start building. I think this year the organizers should be also congratulated for bringing in 2 new talks into, it's not just business related, but community development. And I'm proud to say we have Cindy and Zaman from ASEAN Endeavor, who actually have opened Endeavor in Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, which is all about not just funding. Entrepreneurs probably only need 40% from funding, but 100% from advice. And I think it's organizations like this which will bring ASEAN youth and ASEAN entrepreneurs, the future engines and drivers of the ASEAN community, forward. So it's great that we gave you the platform. It's great that you grabbed it with both your hands, and we hope, certainly from ABC, that we will assist you in driving this very noble cause forward. And I think what we can give is advice, is experience to your future entrepreneurs. It was great to hear some of your entrepreneurs also in the idea capsule. So thank you very much for your time, effort, passion, and enthusiasm. And just listening to AYVP, I never heard of you before. I love your passion. I love your energy. I love the little turtles. And certainly from AirAsia's point, you won us over. And whatever we can do to assist you in bringing the people of ASEAN together, then you have our support, most definitely, because I think the key is to bring the ASEAN youth together not just Malaysians on one thing, but bring Malaysians, Filipinos, Laotians, etc., all together to benefit ASEAN. And so if we can help you, then I'm sure I can persuade my marketing team to give you some flights to do that. But I was very impressed, and congratulations for your passion in putting this together. So I think it was not just, this forum was not just about the business side, but also the community and getting ASEAN together, and not just from a private sector side. Key takeaways, I think, from this, and I want to recommend to the board actually, that maybe we change our name from the ASEAN Business Club to the ASEAN Business Community, in line with the ASEAN Economic Community. That's something for the trustees to look forward to, as opposed to club may seem a little bit elitist, which may suit some of the board members. No names being mentioned, but certainly from us, low-cost part of the world, the community may resonate more, and may resonate more with leadership around the world, around ASEAN, when they see us as the ASEAN business community, and also not just representing the business community, but the youth and the entrepreneurial community, which I think is a very important part of the SME growth. And I think from the more senior mentors, they can help some of the younger mentors going forward. I think there was a lot of debate on the ASEAN Secretariat, how we can make that more effective, and I think a suggestion from the panel just now on the private industry funding some of the expertise there was a very good one. We talked about branding, from simple ones like changing the SEA Games to the ASEAN Games. Sounds simple, but doesn't seem so simple in reality. We talked about an ASEAN travel pass. We talked about special lanes at airports so that members of the ASEAN community can feel that they're part of the ASEAN community, and building forward from that. So lots was discussed. The danger of forums like this is we leave and we go back to our 9-to-5 jobs, and then we forget the very essence of why we're here. So I think I'm committed. I think you can see that there were some very influential people here who spent 2 days here. So are really committed to making this happen. And I think under the leadership of Tan Sri Munir, who has done a lot of things in his life, some which can't be repeated, we will take it forward. I do remember he spent most of his opening speech at the dinner taking the mickey out of me, but I'm a class above you, and I won't. On that note, I'd like to thank our sponsors, our main sponsors. I won't read them all out, but especially to Silver Lake, who has been a fine supporter of ASEAN, and to CIMB and DBS, and all the other sponsors out there. To the chairman of Chari, Munir, thank you very much for your effort, your energy. I think it shows the difference by you being involved here. And I think this is 2014, the remainder of it, and 2015 is really critical for our involvement in ASEAN. And we look to your guidance, and we will give you whatever support. I think two people who have worked incredibly hard, Juki, where is she? And Adina, please stand up. I think you've done a remarkable job. It's a credit to all of you to, one, deal with all the people in the board, but to have put this on in such fine style and such precision is a testament. And I think ASEAN should thank you guys for all the efforts you've done. And please give them another round of applause. And to all your support staff as well, and to the sound men and the guys who carry the chairs, and the food, which I think next year we should have less food for those of us who are thick. As the WEF, whatever he was. I want to end on that Philip Kostler, which I think was the most impactful person for me during this 2 days, and there were some very impressive people here, but he stood out for me. He seemed to be such a perfect man. I wonder whether he was a drug trafficker at night, because he had such impeccable CV, such a good man, you know, a refugee that has become the vice chancellor of one of the most powerful countries in the world, was a doctor, a helicopter pilot, gave his time at night to be a doctor to the homeless. I've never seen Nazir Razak lost for words. That he finally realized that he hasn't achieved much in his life. But I think the thing I want to end on is it shows the power of what we can do when we all work together. Here is a guy who was in an orphanage in Vietnam, part of ASEAN, has risen to the Vice Chancellor of the Federal Republic of Germany, and is 41 years old. So I leave you with that thought that if we all put our hearts and minds together, we have an enormous amount of talent in this part of the world. If we put our nationalism and our differences apart, and we find a way to work together, the power of ASEAN is amazing. And the power of what we can do to the common man, the 600 million that live in ASEAN, is really replicated by that one man yesterday, Mr. Philip Kostler. If we can kind of harness the energy of the amazing people that live in ASEAN, the world is our oyster. So on that note, thank you very much. Thank you for attending, and I really enjoyed these last 2 days. Let's grab this chance and really make a difference for the ASEAN economic community. Thank you very much and good evening.
Thank you, Tan Sri Tony. Thank you for those words. Thank you for lifting our spirits up as we continue.